Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we are going to discuss the biggest mega projects of the world that never finished. But before we jump to it, don't forget to click the like button, share, subscribe, and press the notification bell for more updates. Now, let's begin. Number 5. Doha Shark Crossing. Qatar was controversially awarded the 2022 FIFA World Cup hosting rights in 2010. The dismissal and resignation of key FIFA executives came as a result of intense pressure for a transparent inquiry. Despite the protests, Qatar continued to move forward with its plans, which included a number of infrastructure projects. The Doha Crossing, subsequently dubbed the Doha Shark Crossing, was one of them. In 2013, the project was originally revealed. The proposals also featured a 12-kilometer connection that would be made up of 3 bridges connected by extensive underwater tunnels. The crossing was designed to handle 6,000 vehicles per hour, allowing for smooth and quick traffic flow between the West Bay and Hamad International Airport. The $12 billion engineering project was expected to take a long time to complete. However, it came to a halt less than 2 years after it was announced. The delay has been attributed to low oil prices and an overcrowded building industry. With a fast-growing population, there was a higher demand for residential developments, resulting in a labor crisis. The government postponed all non-essential megaprojects, including the Shark Crossing, due to economic stress and a tight labor market. The project was restarted in December 2019 after a 4-year pause, when Qatar's Public Works Authority invited local contractors to advise them on the plans to begin the project. Local businesses were encouraged to build worldwide alliances, and development was set to begin by the end of 2020. Qatar set a $140 billion budget for 2020, which will be dedicated to the completion of megaprojects. As a result, there is optimism that the project will resume in 2021. Even if work begins, the Doha Shark Crossing will take at least 4 years to complete, putting the completion date well beyond the 2022 World Cup. Number 4. Goldman Finance 117. We head to China for this massive project, where one of the world's highest skyscrapers is still unfinished. The Goldman Finance 117 began development in 2008 with the goal of surpassing the Shanghai Tower to become the world's second tallest building after Dubai's Burj Khalifa. The basement of the tower was completed in 2012, and it reached a height of 597 meters in September 2015. The project's developer reportedly fell bankrupt at that time, and construction was halted. In 2018, attempts to recommence construction were made, however they stalled quickly, and no one has taken over the project since then. While the construction was on hold, the tower attracted a few climbers who attempted to climb the unoccupied tower. A Russian couple climbed to the top of the building in 2016 and even managed to reach the crane left at the very top. Number 3. Shenyan International Project. In the last 3 decades, China has arguably undergone the most rapid transition of any country. Massive megaprojects have been constructed in the country, which are concurrent with the country's expanding economic growth. While China has established itself as a global leader in infrastructure development, it has also gained a reputation for turning cities into ghost towns with little to no people. The Shenyan International Project in China's Hubei region is one of these ghost towns. This development was planned to include European-style buildings connecting bridges, massive parking and shopping complexes, and even skyscrapers, and was divided into 2 distinct residential and entertainment districts. However, the project's rapid development came to a halt in 2014, when the real estate business behind it was charged with corruption. As a result, property values collapsed, and the corporation filed for bankruptcy. The project's lead developer planned to invest $17 billion in the project, and over 700 residential complexes had already been sold when building was halted. The project's location is ideal, as it is close to both rail and metro stations. Just beyond the district, traffic can be heard raging across the streets. Inside, however, it depicts a ghost town populated solely by stray animals. Number 2. Ryugyong Hotel. Next up on the list is a North Korean mega project. It is a surprise inclusion on the list because the country is known for being dismissive of foreign tourists, particularly from the West. To this day, only state-guided tours of the state are permitted, and journalists are not permitted to visit. Despite this, North Korea once planned to house thousands of international guests in a 105-story pyramid-shaped hotel, which would have been the world's tallest hotel at the time. North Korea's direct rivalry with South Korea, which was just transitioning into a capitalist democracy, as opposed to the communist state in the north, prompted the creation of the initiative. In Singapore, a South Korean company had just completed the world's highest hotel, and North Korea wanted to take it away. As a result, in 1987, work on the Ryugyong Hotel began, with Russian funding. The 330-meter structure would be made up of 3 wings, each creating a cone towards the summit. The pyramid-shaped structure's upper level was supposed to hold 5 revolving restaurants with panoramic views of the Pyongyang skyline. The Soviet Union fell apart in December 1991, and the funding for the project dried up. Construction was halted in 1992, and for the next 16 years, no progress was made. The hollow concrete building became known as the Hotel of Doom at that time. In 2008, an Egyptian business took over the project and spent $180 million to add a glass facade and LED to the buildings outside. Further engineering concerns put a stop to the resumption of development, and the building was abandoned once more. It was brought back to life 10 years later, in 2018, when the external LED were put to fresh use. The building is currently illuminated at all times, with Korean history and other government messages projected on it. However, estimates say that the hotel will cost $2 billion to build, which is about 5% of North Korea's entire GDP. Despite the halts and starts, it appears that this concrete mountain will never be completed. Number 1. London Garden Bridge. The video's final unfinished mega-project was planned in Europe, along the Thames River that's one of London's most renowned landmarks. The city intended to construct a bridge that would function as a floating garden over the river. Actress Joanna Lumley, who first proposed the idea of a garden bridge in the 1990s, was the motivating factor behind the project. The plans were finally revealed in 2012. The $85 million green bridge, which would connect the South Bank to the Temple area, would be 366 meters long and covered in trees and flowers. The encased concrete structure was planned to be open 18 hours a day, attracting 3 million visitors each year. The bridge was promised to be funded entirely by private donors, with no public expenditures required. The Garden Bridge Trust, the organization sponsoring the project, disclosed in 2015 that the cost had grown to $260 million, and $85 million was supposed to come from public funding. This sparked widespread outrage, and several journalists slammed the initiative for its extravagant nature. It was claimed that the bridge didn't serve any immediate function because it was built in an area where there were already enough bridges. This proposed bridge was far too pricey when compared to other similar places. For example, the Millennium Bridge, which spans 325 meters, cost only $25 million to build. In July 2016, the plans were put on hold for a financial review. The prices had grown to more than $280 million by 2017, and just $180 million had been obtained at the time. It would have taken at least 6 years longer to secure the funds required for the project. That's why it was formally canceled in August 2017, after the review committee concluded it was best to cut their losses rather than continue with the risky project. The interrogation also showed that Apple was in talks to fund the project and name it the Apple Bridge if a deal could be struck. However, the corporation planned to open a store on the property, which would go against the project's vision. According to reports, the unsuccessful project cost $60 million. Because a contract had already been signed, the majority of the money went to the contractor. Another $12.5 million was spent on design fees. From the start, what was once hailed as a gift to London was beset by financial uncertainty and a lack of openness. As a result, what was supposed to be a sustainable and scenic architectural icon became a planning catastrophe that cost millions of dollars before building even began. What are your thoughts on these projects? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring the notification bell for more. Thank you for watching.